Hey, this is Margaret Lynch, author of Tapping into Wealth. Are you ready to claim your new superhero powers? I hope so, because that's just what we're going to do in this video. Now, in chapter 11, you really learned about a goal trauma and did some tapping around an event in the past that was really hard and that has really drained a lot of your energy. And so once we have done some tapping to eliminate some of the sadness, the frustration, and the inner critic that we often carry from those events, we can take that to a whole nother level, because the reality is that event has given you superpowers that you can use as you go forward and blaze a new trail with your outrageous goals. So here's what I want you to do. This is a really cool exercise, but it's a bit woo-woo. So you're going to have to play along, and I promise you there's a very big upside. So what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath and close your eyes, because we're going to be visualizing or imagining something, and it always works better when we have our eyes closed. So I want you to imagine that you could look at the movie screen of your mind and see yourself back in that event, that goal trauma that you tapped on for chapter 11. Just see yourself after the end of that event, after everything was said and done. Just see yourself there. And it should look a little bit calmer because you've done some tapping on it already. But I want you to now look at this as if you could see it through the eyes of your wise mind, or your higher self, or your divine wise mind. Just something that is the piece of you that is bigger, broader, more expansive, that sees the big picture. Just imagine that you could do that you could look at this through your wise mind. And sometimes it helps to just imagine yourself in this old picture, sort of surrounded by some divine light, white light. I told you it's going to be a little woo-woo. Okay, so what I want you to see in this picture and look for is the fact that even though there was some pain and trauma and upset and loss associated with this old event that we've done some tapping on, that you also learned some things in that event. So I want you to look for that. Did you learn things that made you more savvy, that made you more aware, that woke you up? Because back then maybe you were a little bit naive, even though you were doing your best. Did you learn about setting boundaries? Did you learn that when you get knocked down, you might be down for a while, but you have the strength and resiliency to get back up? Because the reality is you're here and you have. Did you learn things about your resiliency, your persistence, your determination? You know, sometimes in the past they've been misguided, but really see the strength that you had even when things were going wrong. This is your opportunity to really see the gifts in this old event and start to own them instead of the inner critic about this old event. So when we have a goal trauma or something like this in the past, we often look back on it and we say things like, ever since that old thing happened, I trust myself less. What I want you to see here is all the amazing gifts you got from it, and realize that because of this old event, you can actually trust yourself more going forward. Do you see that? So I want you to capture it. Get a paper and a pen, and I want you to write down right now as many things as you can think of that you really did learn in that old event, the gifts that you have taken forward. And I want you to put a star next to the ones that seem really important, you know, that really hit you right here, that really feel powerful for you. And I want you to circle the ones that have already allowed you to pass on some of these gifts, some of this mentoring to anybody else in your life, even if it was just one person that you gave advice or help to because of what you learned in this old event. So pause the video, take a second now, and write that list. Okay, hopefully you have a fabulous list there, and I really want you to look at this list. Look at what you learned about yourself. Look at the knowledge that you learned, the savviness that you learned, the strength, the courage, the persistence. I want you to just look at that list and really let it sink in. Really own it. You've had the pain from this old event, and we've done some tapping to clear that away. Now claim the gifts, the superpowers, the confidence, and the actual new level of trust in yourself that you could have only gotten from going through that old event. Can you see that? Can you feel that? That event changed you for the good with certain gifts that you get to move forward with as you blaze a new trail to your new goal. And so instead of having this event be like a cloud, it becomes the source of your kick-ass superpowers. Because you know what? You did live through the event and you are charging a new trail. And because of all of the hard things that you went through and the way you've overcome it, do you realize that that makes you kind of badass, kind of a superhero? And own that, claim it, and bring it into your next goal. So I hope you enjoyed this exercise of finding your badass superhero gifts, and I will see you on the next video. Yeah, that's right, I said it, badass, and I said kick-ass, and I said them right in one video because you know what? That's what it makes you, badass, like the power.